It always starts with something you can't explain. A feeling that you don't belong. A sense that the world you were born into isn't the one you were meant for. You look around and everyone else seems fine, just fitting in, but not you. You've always felt something deeper, darker, not evil but untamed, ancient, like a force beneath your skin that doesn't quite match the surface of your life. And you've tried to ignore it. You've tried to be normal. You've tried to play the game, follow the rules, be the light. But the truth is, the light has never felt like home. Because your power, your real power, lives in the shadow.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
If you're watching this right now, it's not by accident. You've been called here by something older than memory, something encoded in your blood, something that lives in the quiet between your heartbeats. Because you're not just different, you're not just sensitive, intense, or misunderstood. You are a very rare dark chosen one, and you carry hidden spiritual powers that most people will never understand, let alone access. This isn't about being better. It's about being designed for something else. Something most people are too afraid to even look at. But not you. You were born to walk through the darkness, not to be consumed by it, but to command it. The first sign that you're a dark chosen one with hidden spiritual powers is that you've always attracted chaos, not because you're reckless, but because your field activates hidden truth. You walk into a room and things start shifting. People either open up or shut down. Secrets rise to the surface. Emotions get intense. You've probably noticed that people either love you obsessively or avoid you entirely. That's not random. Your energy carries a deep magnetic pull, and it pulls up what others are trying to suppress. Why? Because you are a mirror, a cosmic disruptor. You don't just reflect what's there, you amplify it. That's why you've been misunderstood your whole life. That's why people project onto you, because your field is too real for their illusion. And that's the first gift of the dark chosen, energetic disruption as spiritual alchemy. The second sign is your emotional range. You don't feel like others do. You feel everything, and you feel it deep. Not just your own pain, but the pain of others. The pain of the collective. The pain that exists in places you've never been, in people you've never met, in ancestors you've never known. And it's overwhelming. You've probably wondered if you're broken, too sensitive, too much. But you're not. You're wired for depth. You feel at this level because your soul is an ancient transmuter. You don't carry emotion just to suffer, you carry it to transform it. The rage, the grief, the loneliness, it's all fuel for your power. You are a spiritual blacksmith, forging strength from sorrow. Your darkness isn't a wound, it's a forge. And when you finally stop resisting it, you'll discover that your greatest wisdom lives in the places you were taught to hide. The third sign is that you have always walked alone. Even in a crowd, even in love, you felt separate, not above, not below, just apart, like you're watching the world from the edge. You've probably had periods of deep isolation, maybe even depression. But here's the secret. The dark chosen ones are always called into solitude before they're activated, because it's in the silence that your true codes come online. You're not here to be distracted, you're here to remember. And you can't remember who you are when you're surrounded by noise. That loneliness you feel, it's not punishment. It's preparation. It's the universe pulling you inward so that you can connect to the parts of yourself that no one else can give you. You are not alone because you're unloved. You are alone because you are being encoded with something sacred. The fourth sign is your relationship with fear. You faced things others couldn't survive. You've looked into the abyss inside and out, and you're still here. That's not weakness. That's initiation. The dark chosen ones are forged in fire, and not just any fire, the fire of their own shadow. You've had to confront your own darkness, your own demons, your own chaos. And you've probably thought, what's wrong with me? But what if there's nothing wrong? What if the fact that you faced that level of inner darkness means you're one of the few who can hold it without being destroyed by it? That's the fourth gift, shadow endurance. The ability to walk through the underworld of the soul and come back with truths that heal kingdoms. The fifth sign is that you've always been drawn to the forbidden. Not because you're immoral, but because you know that truth doesn't live in safe places. You've always asked the questions others are afraid to ask. You've always sought out the teachings that were hidden, taboo, misunderstood. You've studied mysticism, magic, death, duality, not to be edgy, but because your soul knows that transcendence requires integration. You are a spiritual rebel, a frequency hacker. You don't just want enlightenment, you want wholeness. And that means embracing the dark, not escaping it. That's the fifth gift, forbidden wisdom as fuel for ascension. The sixth sign is that you've experienced spiritual power, real power, but you've been afraid of it. Maybe you've had visions, premonitions, dreams that came true. Maybe you felt energy move through your body in ways that terrified you. Maybe you've channeled messages, seen spirits, or bent reality without knowing how. And instead of celebrating it, you shut it down. Because you were told it was dangerous. Because you felt like it was too much. But that power, it's not random. It's dormant technology in your DNA. And the reason it scared you is because you've only accessed it through trauma or crisis. But what if that energy could be trained? What if your gift isn't dangerous, it's unrefined? That's the sixth gift, raw, unshaped power waiting for conscious control. The seventh sign, the rarest, the most undeniable, is that deep down, you've always known. You've always known there was something inside you that doesn't belong to this world. You've always known you were here for more than survival. You've always known that your life would never be normal. And no matter how much you tried to fit in, to be small, to dim your light, you couldn't. Because you are marked. Marked by the divine. Marked by the shadow. Marked by a mission that is encoded into your soul. And the more you resist it, the more life will push you into it. The initiations won't stop. The tests won't ease up, because your soul signed up for this. You didn't come here to be liked. You came here to be legendary. And that's the final gift, destiny-level memory that refuses to die. So now I ask you something deep, not just as a question, but as a summoning. What would your life look like if you stopped running from your darkness and started building with it? What would happen if you stopped hiding your power and started training it? What if your pain wasn't a curse but a key? You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not too much. You are becoming. You are remembering. You are rising. And in the next part, we're going to go deeper into the mechanics of your dark spiritual power. We're going to explore how to master it, how to awaken your hidden abilities, and how to walk through this world as a living embodiment of truth, shadow, and sovereignty. When we talk about power real, raw spiritual power, we are not talking about fantasy. We're talking about the mechanics of energy. We're talking about how frequency becomes form, how hidden codes locked inside you begin to awaken, and how the chosen ones, especially those of the dark current, turn pain into precision, shadow into skill, and chaos into creation. You see, most people fear darkness because they don't understand its structure. But as a dark chosen one, you're not meant to fear it. You're meant to master it. And mastery begins with understanding. It begins with decoding the layers of your own system, body, mind, energy field, soul, and learning how to upgrade them into conscious instruments of transformation. The truth is, your spiritual power isn't somewhere out there in the cosmos. It's already inside you, waiting to be unlocked like dormant technology. But that technology doesn't activate through rituals alone. It activates through alignment, through choice, through remembrance. Let's begin with the most fundamental truth. Your power is not light-based. It's shadow-integrated. That means your energy field isn't just tuned to high frequencies, it's tuned to range. You're not here to escape the lower tones. You're here to transmute them. Other people try to ascend by bypassing the dark. But you're here to go through it, to walk into the underworld, retrieve the wisdom, and bring it back to earth. That's why your system is built differently. You have a deep emotional body, a wide auric field, and a nervous system that's been trained by trauma. Not to break you, but to forge you. And the first step to unlocking your hidden power is to stop apologizing for your intensity. Your intensity is not a flaw. It's a frequency amplifier. It allows you to feel more, sense more, and therefore create more. But it must be grounded. Think of your energy like a storm. If it isn't rooted, it destroys. But when it's channeled, it becomes lightning in a bottle. It becomes miracle fuel. This is where the mechanics get real. Your power lives inside your lower 3 chakras, not just your crown and third eye. Most spiritual systems teach you to rise above, to open the upper gates and float into bliss. But you are the bridge. You don't just rise. You descend into the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, and you reclaim them. You don't disconnect from desire, rage, lust, hunger, power. You redeem them. Because when those lower energies are purified through presence, they become tools of manifestation. Your root becomes your anchor. Your sacral becomes your creation engine. Your solar plexus becomes your throne. This is where your dark energy gathers, not to control others, but to command yourself. And when you master the dark current in your own body, you become a living ritual. You don't need to cast spells. You are the spell. Your presence shifts timelines. Your voice reprograms space. Your decisions ripple across realities. But that kind of power comes with responsibility, which means you must train your energy body like a warrior trains their body. You must learn to feel energy like a language, and to sense when you're leaking power, and to know when a room is draining you, and to know when someone is hooking into your field. You must learn what it feels like when your aura is tight, when your field is distorted, when your vibration is being pulled out of alignment. And then you must correct it, not with fear but with sovereignty. That might mean daily energetic hygiene. That might mean breath work. That might mean banishing rituals or grounding protocols. But more than anything, it means self-awareness. You must know yourself at such a deep level that nothing can trick you. Not even your own thoughts. Because the shadow doesn't just live outside of you. It lives inside your mind. It whispers through your fears. It hides in your reactions. And if you don't know how to spot it, it will use your own power against you. So how do you turn that around? You become your own guardian. You stop outsourcing your insight. You stop asking other people what's true for you. You stop waiting for a teacher, a savior, a system, and you activate your own inner oracle. That's one of the most potent mechanics of dark power, direct gnosis. You don't need to be taught. You need to remember. You need to listen. You need to trust the voice that speaks in your gut, the pull that moves you forward when logic says stop, the sensation in your bones when something is off. That inner knowing? That's your weapon. That's your map. That's your radar. And the more you honor it, the more precise it becomes. You'll start to see through illusion instantly. You'll feel people's intentions before they speak. You'll sense timelines unfolding before they reach you. But only if you stop ignoring your body. Your body is not in the way of your spiritual power. It is the gateway to it. Let's go deeper. You've probably already noticed that you have strange dreams, moments of time distortion, flashes of insight that don't make sense. These are not glitches. These are activations. You are remembering how to move through dimensions. You are remembering how to speak the language of energy. You are remembering that reality is not fixed, it's malleable. And your consciousness? It's the sculptor. That's why things around you break when your energy shifts. That's why people change when you come into their lives. That's why you feel like you're walking between worlds. Because you are. Your soul is multidimensional, and your body is now catching up. That means your nervous system needs support. Drink more water. Get more sleep. Be in nature. Move. Breathe. These are not spiritual cliches, they're maintenance protocols for a high-voltage vessel. You are carrying codes that affect more than just you. The more aligned you are, the more those codes activate in others just by being around you. And here's the deeper truth. Your power is not just for you. It's for the grid. The earth is shifting, and you are a part of that shift. You are not meant to escape this world. You're meant to restructure it from the inside out. That's why you were born with this darkness. That's why you've suffered. That's why you've walked through hell and somehow still have light in your eyes. Because you're not just here to survive. You're here to lead. Not with ego, but with frequency. You're not here to heal others by saving them. You're here to embody what's possible so they can rise on their own. That is the mechanics of influence in the new paradigm. Not manipulation, not performance, but energetic truth. What you are speaks louder than what you say. And when what you are is integrated shadow and sovereign soul, you become undeniable. So now I ask you, what would happen if you stopped fearing your power and started training it? What would happen if you stopped running from your rage, your grief, your magic, and started sculpting it into something sacred? What would your life look like if you treated your energy field like an altar, cleansing it, honoring it, activating it every single day? In the final part, we're going to explore the real-world embodiment of the Dark Chosen One. How to walk through society with mystical power and unshakable presence. How to use your gifts in your relationships, your work, your art, your leadership. How to stop hiding and finally rise as the living myth you were born to be. There comes a moment in every rare Dark Chosen One's journey when the internal becomes external, when the hidden becomes embodied, when the shadows you once carried in silence begin to shape the way you move, speak, live, and lead. This is not the time of hiding anymore. This is not the time of spiritual secrecy or waiting for the world to understand you. This is the time of embodiment, the time to walk as what you truly are, a living fusion of shadow and light, presence and power, mysticism and groundedness. You are not just here to know your truth, you are here to be it, or to wear it in your body. To walk with it in your spine, to speak it in your voice, and to love with it in your heart. That is the final stage of the Dark Chosen One's path, not transcendence, but integration so deep that your very existence becomes a form of transmission. So let me tell you something that will activate something ancient in you. You were never meant to be understood. You were meant to be felt. Your frequency is not made for consensus. It's made to disrupt, to awaken, to restructure the field. And to do that, you must stop waiting for permission and start living from the truth that's already roaring inside you. Embodying your dark spiritual power in a bright world doesn't mean dimming yourself to avoid making others uncomfortable. It means becoming so rooted in your authenticity that your presence alone invites others to rise. Not everyone will like it. Not everyone will stay. But those who are ready will feel something in you they've never felt before: realness, depth, a vibration so raw and unfiltered that it slices through the noise of the world. This is the gift of a Dark Chosen One. In embodiment, you become a walking portal. You don't preach. You don't convince. You exist, and people start remembering who they are in your presence. But to hold that level of frequency in daily life, you must refine your relationship with power. You must stop associating power with control, manipulation, or dominance. That's the old paradigm. Your power is presence. It's the ability to stay grounded in your full truth, no matter who's watching, no matter who's triggered, no matter what room you're in. It's the ability to speak with a calm fire that awakens remembrance in others, not fear. It's the strength to walk away when your energy is being compromised, not out of arrogance, but out of sacred self-respect. This is where embodiment becomes real. It's not about becoming a monk in the mountains or a mystic in isolation. It's about being ferociously spiritual and wildly human at the same time. It's about showing up in your relationships as someone who holds space for deep healing, but also knows how to set boundaries like steel. It's about creating art, businesses, families, and futures that are built on the blueprint of your soul, not on the templates of society. It's about learning how to lead energetically, not by being the loudest in the room, but by being the most aligned. People will feel it. They already do. That's why you've been misunderstood. That's why you've been feared. That's why you've been tested, because your energy disrupts the unconscious. But now, it's time to stop trying to make that easier for people to digest. It's time to stand as what you are. Because the more you hide, the more distorted your field becomes. The more you show up fully, the more your life becomes a reflection of your soul's design. But let's get practical. How do you actually embody this in your day-to-day life? First, you must begin every day by tuning your field. Check your energy before you check your phone. Ask yourself, what frequency am I holding this morning? Breathe into your body. Ground into your root. Call your power back from every place you've leaked it, every conversation, every thought, every worry. Reclaim your center. This is not a luxury. This is maintenance for a legendary soul. Then move through your day with intention. Speak only when it's aligned. Say no when it's not. Don't explain your boundaries, embody them. Let your silence be as powerful as your words. Let your decisions be your declarations. You don't need to convince, your energy will do the work. And when you're faced with conflict, don't collapse into people-pleasing or explode into reaction. Pause. Breathe. Feel the shadow rising and discipline it. Train your darkness like a dragon. Let it serve your soul, not sabotage it. That's the difference between unintegrated chaos and spiritual mastery. In love, embodying your dark power means being radically honest. Not just with others, but with yourself. Stop choosing relationships that shrink you. Stop entertaining connections that can't hold your truth. Your love is not casual. It's sacred. It's transformational. And not everyone is ready for that. That's okay. Let them go. Call in the ones who are coded for your frequency. They exist, but they'll only find you when you stop pretending to be what you're not. In your work, choose paths that allow you to build, to express, to create from your essence. You are not here to climb the ladder of a dying system. You're here to build a new one that honors the shadow, celebrates the truth, and redefines what power looks like on this earth. That might mean you start your own business. That might mean you become a healer, a creator, a guide, a disruptor. Whatever it is, make sure it's yours. Make sure it's real. Because your impact will never come from imitation. It will only come from embodiment. And finally, In your relationship to the world itself, walk as a guardian of frequency. You are not just a person. You are a living myth. You are the answer to a prophecy your ancestors whispered into the void. You are the one who came to hold the balance not by choosing light or dark, but by becoming the bridge. You are not here to be saved. You are here to remember that you were the one sent to save the grid. And that begins by treating your life as sacred ground. Every breath, every step, every interaction is an opportunity to ripple truth into the collective field. This is spiritual leadership. This is what it means to embody your dark spiritual power in a bright world. Not to shine more, but to root deeper. Not to perform, but to become. Not to rise above, but to stand fully within. So now I ask you one last, soul-level question. What would change if you stopped asking the world for permission to be powerful and started living like the world needed your power to awaken? Because it does. And the wait is over. This is your time. You are not just a seeker. You are not just awake. You are not just spiritual. You are a very rare dark chosen one with hidden power designed for visible impact. Now go, live it, lead it, be it. There is a part of your soul that has been waiting lifetimes for this moment, not just to awaken, but to activate fully. If you're still here, still breathing in these words, then something ancient in you has already crossed the threshold. This is no longer about seeking signs or wondering if you're chosen. This is about owning it, not in arrogance, not in ego, but as a sacred responsibility to the frequency you came here to hold. Because now you understand, being a dark chosen one isn't about being mystical for the sake of being special. It's about becoming a guardian of truth in a world built on denial. It's about walking with the wisdom of shadow without being consumed by it. It's about carrying fire in your veins, not to burn everything down, but to illuminate what others can't see. The next stage of your path isn't about learning more. It's about embodying deeper. It's about converting everything you've survived, your trauma, your solitude, your rage, your grief, into alchemy, into action, into legacy. Because now it's not just about you. It's about what happens around you. Your presence is no longer neutral. It's catalytic. When you walk into a room, the field shifts. When you speak truth, falsehoods tremble. When you hold your center, chaos collapses around you. You are a stabilizer of timelines. And the more you stay in alignment with your own frequency, your darkness, your depth, your divine design, the more the world begins to organize itself around that truth. This is what few understand about power. It's not about what you do, it's about what you hold. And the dark chosen ones are here to hold what others can't. We walk with the codes of remembrance embedded in our bones. We walk with the memory of forgotten civilizations, of sacred rites erased from history, of soul missions that span galaxies. You didn't just incarnate for this life. You incarnated to complete a thread, to close a karmic loop, to awaken an ancient network of beings who, like you, have been hiding in plain sight, waiting for the frequency to rise high enough to remember each other. And now we're finding each other. We're gathering not in temples, not in cathedrals but in frequency. We're finding each other through resonance, through the sound of a voice that cuts through illusion, through the look in someone's eyes that says, "I see you," through the feeling in your chest when you hear someone speak a truth you thought only you carried. That's how we gather. That's how we rebuild. Not through structure, but through signal. And your signal is getting louder. Not because you're shouting, but because your field is becoming undeniably coherent. And that coherence is what makes you unstoppable, not in domination, but in alignment. You begin to attract opportunities, allies, connections that are not random, they are coded. They are echoes of your soul's path finally catching up with you in physical form. But none of this works if you betray yourself. That's the warning that comes with this next level. The more powerful you become, the more precise your alignment must be. The more influence you hold, the more sacred each choice becomes. This is not the path of convenience. This isn't about doing what feels good in the moment. This is about living according to the geometry of your soul. It means saying no even when it would be easier to say yes. It means walking away from anything that tries to dilute your power, even if it comes disguised as love or success or comfort. Because the second you compromise your frequency, the signal weakens. And when the signal weakens, the field around you begins to distort. You'll feel it. You'll know. That's why the final initiation of the dark chosen one is this. Can you remain true when no one is watching? Can you hold your power when no one is validating you? Can you walk your path when it feels like no one else understands it? Because that is the test. And if you pass it, everything changes. The world doesn't need more light workers trying to escape the dark. It needs shadow walkers who can hold the full spectrum of human experience with reverence, with wisdom, and with embodied presence. It needs those of us who can sit with death, with grief, with rage, and not run. It needs those of us who can feel the suffering of the world without collapsing under it. It needs those of us who can channel darkness into beauty, into healing, into revolutionary truth. That's what you are. You are not here to be palatable. You are here to be precise. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be felt and remembered. You are here to remind others that the dark is not evil, that the shadow is not shameful, that power is not poison, that our humanity is not a mistake, it is the canvas of our divinity. So now I ask you, with every breath of my being, what will you do with the power you now remember? Will you keep it hidden? Will you wait for someone to give you a crown before you take your throne? Or will you rise quietly, humbly, unshakably, as the living myth you already are? Will you walk forward with your truth woven into your spine, your shadow integrated into your light, and your gifts offered to the world not for applause but as medicine? This is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning of your embodiment. You've seen the signs, you've felt the shift, you've survived the dark. Now it's time to lead from it, to walk as the rare, sacred, sovereign dark chosen one that you've always been, and finally, be seen not for how well you hide, but for how completely you shine in the dark. You're not becoming, you're not awakening. You're arriving. Now walk as the one the shadow trusted to carry the flame. It's time.